Hello, my name is Aaron Mitchell, and I would say my identity right now is that I'm an illustrator with the discipline in graphic design because that's what I got my undergrad in. I would say I first engaged with art when I was in kindergarten, and I would just be drawing little doodles and doing things based off of whatever I saw in movies. So I have a photo of me saying what I got for Christmas, and the tree looks like the tree from The Grinch. Maybe not curved as much, but it looked just as fun. And throughout the years, I would always just have this free imagination in these little notebooks that I would find, or pieces of paper that I would find. Even in some of my art projects, I would just draw on the back a little bit, and it was so, you know, freeing to look back at because I can just see a mind that's not clouded with responsibilities. And what encouraged me when I was younger is definitely the Power Rangers, but also just the TV shows I would watch and what I was being exposed to. So much color out there in the world. And my, artistic interests definitely shift when I hit third grade. I had a group of friends that we would get together and we would sketch stuff back and forth to each other, whether it was like Yu-Gi-Oh characters or Pokemon monsters, or just anything that we were involved and engaged with at the time. Um, and they were just pretty much, we were always color, and it was just so fun to do because I would like to see how everybody has drawn a certain character or style. And even there, I would draw like the Looney Tune characters and Garfield. I would go on trips and always have a sketchbook with me all the time. Unfortunately, those sketchbooks are gone, but hey, it's okay. And I felt really supported at the time in my art career. It was definitely a little hobby that my parents saw growing in me, but that was kind of short lived. And I say short lived because when I hit eighth grade, I think my father asked me what I wanted to be when I got older, and I would say a cartoon illustrator or a comic illustrator. And he was just like, no, that's not financially stable. And rightfully so, looking back on it now. You never knew back then. And there wasn't enough exposure in my town specifically for the arts as a career choice. Even though all throughout high school I was an arts child, like I was in music mainly. I never took an art class in high school. I was a music kid. I was straight band and chorus. I became drum major in my band, and I love playing my trombone, and I love being with my choir. Although I say all that, that's his statement definitely deterred me from going for the arts earlier in my career. I ended up going for electrical engineering, which definitely was not the way for me, and it halted me significantly for about 2 to 3 years from finding what I truly want to do. In that span of time, I really wasn't doing anything creatively. I had graduated high school. I didn't really play music anymore. I wasn't singing all that much. I would draw little sketches here and there. And it would just be a memory in my head of the tons and tons of hours I would spend in my room, probably 10 plus hours a day, um, just sketching comic books and different cartoon characters every single day. It was truly my passion, and once that statement hit me, you know, it stopped me completely. It wasn't until about 2016 when I had a different group of friends that were very creative all around. We had photographers, we had graffiti artists, different type of draftsmen and videographers all together, and musicians as well, all together in one. But even still during that time, there was still a void that wasn't being filled in me. We did a collective art show together, and I felt just very discouraged. in my lack of skill. I experimented with markers a lot during the time because that was the only thing I could afford, and I had some watercolor paints. I was probably like 10 plus years old. I never even played with watercolor, but I tried to experiment as much as possible within a short time frame. All the artworks I created, I probably created within 2 months. And at the time, I felt that I knew where my style was leading, but not really. In that time of the art show and being around the creatives, I ended up picking up a camera and doing some photography here and there. I did landscapes, I would do portraits, I did graduation photos, and some of the photos I would like to mess around with the editing to feel how I was feeling at the time. From there, I really started to try to figure out what I wanted to do in my career, what was the right path for me. I looked into different music programs, but I thought it was too late, and then I looked into different art programs. I went to BOCES to do a graphic design course there, and I think I figured out, okay, well, might as well do graphic design. I like playing with tech, but I want to still do it with art. And so I took those classes. From there, I started to feel myself shift, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go for what I didn't go for before. I'm going to go for the arts in my career. So I went and did my undergrad at Farmingdale for graphic design, and that's where I started flourishing and really filling the void that was within me. I was learning the 2D principles of design, even 3D principles, and I started really expanding my horizons with different art books, sketches, constantly YouTubing different artists and seeing their techniques and finding my style within their style, very loose, fluid, and just explorative. My only struggle then was giving myself the time of the day to create as much as I possibly can, although I had projects that would let me explore different styles, and I would also have some friends that would ask me to do little things here and there. I still wanted time for me. It wasn't until about 2020 when I finally started experimenting a lot more independently again, and so I started sketching almost every day. When I worked at a law firm, I used to draw on Post-its on my downtime, but I did a series on Instagram where I did it like every single day. And looking back at those, I am just in shock because I drew every day and there was no limitations to what I did on that Post-it. It could be this one little sketch, or it could just be like a whole world on a piece of paper. And from there, I really started to find my style even more and more. And I started sketching in these sketchbooks, finally filling up sketchbooks with ideas, doodles, projects, transferring them to canvases. I started feeling myself really love art again. And I would say now in my artistic journey and what my identity is, I'm an illustrator. I love drawing different faces and images and everything. One thing that definitely helped me in the meantime of college is I found out that my grandparents used to have a lot of art, and it definitely resonates with me now. The only thing I'm working on nowadays is just giving myself a lot of grace with my creative growth, and stopping myself looking for validation in peers and family. Although it sounds great, it's not. I truly need validation within myself, and it's something I'm growing and working on every single day. Doing this project has definitely allowed me to look into myself and see just how much progress I've actually made in my artistic journey, and I'm so grateful for that. I keep saying how I'm not even paying for teaching certifications anymore in my head. I'm paying for therapy because this has all been very therapeutic for me to look at myself, because I never give myself enough time. And I definitely thank this major for that.